Start. Om na karmana na prajaya dhani na tyage naike amrutatvamanasuhu parinanakam nihitam guhayam vibrajati dajyatayo vishanti vedanta vijnana sunischitartha sannyasa yoga yatayas suddha sattva aha Tribhamma loke tu para antakale paramrutat parimucyanti sarve dakam vipapam parame svabhutam pundarikam puramajya sargastam tatrapi dahnam gaganam vishokastasmin tastadupasitavyam yo vedado svara prokto vedante cha pratisthitah tasya prakriti linasya yah parasva maheswarah na tatra suryo bhati na chandra tarakam nema vidyuto bhanti kuto yam agnihi tameva bhantam anubhati sarvam tasya bhasa sarvamidam vibhati om har namah parvati pataye har har mahadeva Sri Sadgurunatha Maharaj ki jai. Okay, we'll start with 3 Oms and Sahanavatu and Guru Stotram. Sahanavavatu Sahanau bhunaktu Sahaviryam karavavahai Tejasvinavadhitamastu mavit vishavahai Om Shanti 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 Guru Stotram Akhanda Mandalakaram Vyaptam Yena Characharam Tatpadam Darsitam Yena Tasmai Sri Gurave Namaha Ajnanatimirandasya Jnananjana Shalakaya Chakshur Militam Yena Tasmai Sri Gurave Namaha Gurur Brahma Gurur Vishnu Gurur Devo Maheshwaraha Gurureva Param Brahma Tasmai Sri Gurave Namaha Stavaram Jangamam Yaptam Yatkinchis Sacharacharam Darsitam Yena Tasmai Sri Gurave Namaha Chinmayam Vyapiyat Sarvam Trailokyam Sacharacharam Tatpadam Darsitam Yena Tasmai Sri Gurave Namaha Tvameva Mata Cha Pita Tvameva Tvameva Bandhuscha Sakha Tvameva Tvameva Vidya Dravidam Tvameva Tvameva Sarvam Mama Deva Deva Tvameva Sarvam Guru Deva Deva Hari Om. So we started the Kathopanishad where the student is Nachiketas and he is Kumaraha, between 8 and 10 years old, and the teacher is Yama, the Lord of Death. And we don't know what's the age of Lord of Death, right? He's beyond the death. And the Upodghatam, the introduction of the student and the teacher, is brought about in the first volley we are discussing, where the boy observes the father doing a yajna where he is supposed to give everything that is useful for others, all the things that he has to give. But he finds the father is giving old cows which are not useful to anybody, and in the process he is doing this yajna to gain merits so that he can go to heavens. So there is a Sakama yajna. When it is Sakama yajna, you have to do everything exactly, then only the yajna will be successful. Same yajna can be done as a Nishkama yajna, where I am not desiring for any particular result, but I am doing it for purification. In that case, even if there are errors occurs, the result is always the purity. The intensity is only, there is no particular results other than the purification of the mind. So that being the case, the student knows all this and knows why his father is doing this yajna, and finds that his father is doing the Sakama yajna, therefore he has to follow the rules and regulations, but he is not following it, because the boy has so much of Shraddha in the ritualistic portion or in the Vedas, as what you say has to follow exactly. Since he thinks he is also a useful entity and everything that is useful has to be given, so he asks his father, to whom are you going to give? Because I am also a useful entity. Something useful about me. And he will justify later also. And the father didn't answer, so he asked second time, and the third time, out of irritation, the father said, go to hell, or go to I'm giving you to a Lord of Death. So the boy was excited that he wants to go. Then he was wondering, what is the Lord of Death is going to do with him? After all, he is not useful to him that much, because the Lord of Death has enough people to use. But he should be useful when he goes somewhere. If you give something as a gift, the gift should be useful. If it's useless, you keep it until you give it to somebody else, right? But here he wants thinking, hey, I'm a useful guy. After all, I'm the first in my class, in many subjects. And at the most, I may be in the second or middle, but never in the bottom. So therefore, I am at least useful a little bit. And I am a boy still, I am not a young man. I can be useful at least for some people to guide, or some old people where I can take them a little bit for walking and all that. But what is Yama going to do with him? So he is wondering how Yama is going to go to useful, how he is going to be useful for him. That's what he is concerned. He is not concerned about he is going to Yama. He is only concerned about how he can be useful to Yama. That's all his worry is about. And after the yajna is over, the father is debating, say, why did I say like you have to go to the Yama? So the boy is getting prepared to go to Yama, and the father says, you don't have to follow the instructions, because I just said out of anger, so that you don't have to oblige it, so you don't need to go. But the student says that if I don't go, you are violating the rules that we have established generations. All your forefathers and all that, when they promised, they followed the word. And if you violate it, you are going against your tradition, which is not good. Number two, Now you are going to establish a new tradition by violating the word, that your next few generations also will take you as an example and not follow the words they give. So in either way it will be a problem. So I don't want you to be like that. So I am going to follow the instructions. And also he says, don't worry, everything is impermanent. What is after all? This life goes continuously. No one is really going to be here permanently. It's like the corn coming in the field. They come, they go, and again next generation of corn will be coming and going and coming. And so what is the big deal? Why are you crying about all this? So send me peacefully and I have no problem. I'll go to Lord Yama. So having convinced the father with his blessings, he goes to Lord Yama. How he went, we don't know. That was secret discussed. But when he went there, the Lord Yama was not there, and he was gone to some camp, I guess. So for 3 days he was out of town. So after 3 days, but until 3 days, this boy didn't want to enter into the house because the Yajamani is not there. So he knows at least the courtesies that he should not enter when the owner of the house is not there. So he was standing outside or sitting outside only and not taking anything. So he was not sleeping or not having any food for 3 days. And when Yama came to know after coming 3 days, he was concerned because he knows the rules, dharma. When a Brahmin boy has come all the way as Atithi, Atithi is a guest who has come without any appointment, that's called Atithi, and you have to treat him as though he is guest because he is in need. And that too a Brahmin boy, and a Brahmin boy who is with a Tejas, who is essentially a well educated, and by his the Tejas, he can tell that this boy is not an ordinary boy. And therefore, and that keeping him outside, and you lose everything that you have if you don't treat him properly. So he comes running to the boy, and he washes his feet and all that, whatever that has to be done as receiving a guest, and says, please accept my apology, and for prayashchittam, for not attending you on these 3 days, because you are starving for 3 days, I am going to give you three varams or 3 boons. Please select whatever you want. So this was the beginning of essentially the Upanishad, where the boy as a first boon, and you can see now up to this we are introducing the boy has Shraddha in the scripturals. God, that's why he has followed the rules and regulations and instructs his father also to follow the rules and regulations. So that much of faith in the scriptures is there. And that's one of the essential requirements for this the Adhyatma Vidya. And the second is Titicha. He's standing there for 3 days without food, not complaining about it. And when Yama comes and he asks for 3 boons, and the first boon he gets a return ticket to make sure. Says, as first boon, he says, when I return back from you to my father, let him receive me with a pleasing mind. So obviously he is assured that he is going to go back, and also he wants to make sure that fathers receive. He doesn't think that this ghost has come because he has gone to the death. Therefore he receives him as though he was there before, just as he was receiving before. So with a pleasant, no discomfort and all that. And Yama appreciate this. Yes, when you return from me, that means he sanctioned the return ticket. And when your father receives you, he receives you pleasantly, and your father will be able to sleep comfortably every night. That means he will not have any worries, and so that he will be always without anger and all that. So as a first boon, he took care of his family. So his father is okay, everything is okay as he goes back. As the second boon, he requests, please teach me that yajna by which when they perform that yajna, they can go to, those who are desire of going to the heavens can go without any problem and enjoy the things. So now he is trying to take care of the whole society. So for the benefit of, it's not for, he's already in the heavens right now with the Yama. So it's for the benefit of others. So please, so that I can instruct them that yajna. So the Yamadharmaraja teaches him that and asks him to repeat it. So this yajna has to be done, including how many bricks you need, how you have to arrange, how the Homakundam has to be done. So all instructions were given, and the Nachiketa, word by word, everything was repeated back. So Yama was so pleased, this intelligence of the boy. So now we are now getting another aspect of the student. Not only he has a Shraddha, he has the intelligence to learn also the Adhyatma Vidya. And when he repeated, the Yamadharma was so happy with his intelligence, he said, I am going to give additional boons, and this yajna from here on called Nachiketa yajna. So he gave a stamp for that, a naming after him. So even when Nachiketa is not there, the yajna will be known, and people will know who is that Nachiketa, and people will learning Kathopanishad, I guess. So the second boon is over. After that, says after this second yajna related to this over, he asks, the Yama asks, now you ask me what is the third yajna, third varam. For the, because three varams are there. So, Trutiyam varam Nachiketo Unishva. This is the 19th sloka that we left last time. Says, this Trutiyam varam, this third, now you choose the third boon, Hey Nachiketa. So, Nachiketa is going to cash his third, excuse me. So, third boon. Let's do the sloka 20 of chapter 1 of the Valli 1. Okay. Excuse me. Yeyam prete vichikitsa manushye. Yam prete vichikitsa manushye. Asti cheke nayamasti chaike. Asti cheke nayamasti chaike. Etad vidya manusishtastvayaham. Etad vidya manusishtastvayaham. Varanamesha varastrutiyaha. Varanamesha varastrutiyaha. Together. Yeyam prete vichikitsa manushye. Asti cheke nayamasti chaike. Etad vidya manusishtastvayaham. Varanamesha varastrutiyaha. So here he asks, says, there is a doubt. So yaha iyam vichikitsa manushya among the people, there is a doubt, and eke, some people think asti, there is something. After prete, after people have died, there is something. So some people have an opinion or a doubt. Some people have an opinion that there is something. Even though something has died, says he is dead, but there is something still alive that is there, which we don't know. So he is raising a question. There are some people who doubt that there is something, which we cannot see, obviously, because if you see, there won't be any doubt about it, which we cannot see, that which is imperceptible, but there is. Asti, idi eke, manushye. Therefore, some people have that. Nayam asti iti eke. And other people have said there is nothing. It's all dead and gone. It came from birth is beginning and death is the end. So what is there? I don't see anybody has coming back to say there is there. So end of the story. So there is, so maja, like that is called Charvaka Matam, says birth is the beginning and death is the end. No one has come back after return to say they are in a heaven or hell, right? So why are you worrying about that which you don't know? Just enjoy life, and no one is going to cause. If you don't have money, borrow money from somebody and enjoy. How about returning it? That's not your problem. That is other people's problem. So that is Charvaka Matam. So that's called materialistic life. So that is one aspect of Nasti. So all the Nastikas is atheists, says prove to me that there is something. Is there a soul? Is there something that is really alive? Is there something beyond the body, mind and intellect that we cannot see? And therefore, he says there is a vichikitsa. Vichikitsa means there is a doubt in the people's mind. We'll analyze a little bit more. So, etad vidyam anusishtastvayaham. So, this vidya, this knowledge, anusishtaha tvaya aham. So, by you, I want to learn this knowledge. Essentially, if you want, I want to be your student. Anusishta means following your as a discipline. I want to be learn this vidya. Therefore, I want you to be teacher. So, he is identifying the Lord of Death. You are my teacher. I am going to be your disciple, and I want to learn about this from you. Varanamesha varastrutiyaha. This of these boons, this is my third boon that I want. Okay, now, so you understand what is it. So, what exactly is asking now? He is asking just to say, is there some soul? But remember in the previous sloka, previous varam, he already asked something. What did he ask? He asked, how when the people die, they go to heavens and enjoy the Swargam. So he already knows that there is something already going from one leaving this body and going to other body. So he already has a knowledge of that, and even the Yamadharmaraja also knows that he knows. So obviously it's something different from what directly it says. So it's not that there is some life, there is something Atma that is always there beyond. So he's asking something even beyond, and that knowledge which is beyond prete, beyond the death. Right? That's what. Who is asking to the Lord of Death. So that which is beyond you, teach me that. So that is one way of understanding. It is not just simple question. In fact, he is going to clarify in the end of this Valli a little bit more about what exactly he wants. But Yamadharmaraja knew what exactly he is asking, as you will see in the next few slokas. And what exactly he is asking from our own point, that which is beyond the death. He is asking, this is there. Say prete, that is which is beyond the death, different from the death. Is there something? So death means not only the physical death, death in a general sense is a change. Right? Anything that changes, one thing dies and another thing is born. So it says punarapi maranam, punarjanam. So continuous travel is there. One body is gone and another body is gone. Vasamsi jirnani yatha vihaya. So one body is left, another body you are taking. So we are talking about not that kind of death. So you're talking about that beyond the change itself. That which is changeless in all these changing things. You follow now what says? If you interpret that death is not just the death of the physical body is talking about, it says death of, that means changing, that if in these things changing, there is something that is beyond asti. Some people say, and other people say nasti. There is nothing really, because the only things is changing and that's all it is there. So is there something there? And I want to learn about it. Or just information. I want you to be a teacher. So essentially, we are asking now, what is Nitya, Anitya, Vastu, Vivekam? Because Anityam is continuously changing, which is temporary. But what is that which is Nityam, which is permanent, which is beyond changes? And that beyond the changes should not be changing. So that has to be eternally present. Is there something? And some people say there is, and some people say there is nothing. So please teach me that. Remember, Bhagavad Gita starts also with this statement. Says you are crying where there is no reason for you to cry. Right? Why? Because there is never a time I am not there, never a time you are not there. So there is something permanent, eternally present. And that I need to know what exactly the nature of that. Not only that, there is. I don't want just a simple yes or no. I want it is vidya. I want to be your student and I want you to be teacher to teach me that. So this is the request of as a third boon. So now we can see what maturity of our Nachiketa is. Now, Yamadharma Raja is going to do some questions here. In this knowledge is very specific. It's not giving to webcast for everybody. It is given only to those who are qualified. The Bhagavad Gita, Krishna says in the 18th chapter, you have to teach only to those who have a faith in these teachings. And when Swami Chinmayananda was giving lectures about this on the Jnana Yajnana mass scale, some people protested, you are giving this to everybody. It is secret, it is put only for those who really need it. And Swamiji responded, it is only given to those who need it. So how come, but you are giving everybody? Everybody is there, but only who need it will be understanding it. The rest of the people will be just dropping it and going back. So those who really want to know will continue this. Other people will just say coming and it's an entertainment for them and then go away. So yeah, I'm also keeping it still a secret there. And so there is no problem. So here the Yamadharma Raja wants to know whether Nachiketa is qualified to receive it. So what are the qualifications? There is a fourfold qualifications are required. One is, we know the Shraddha he already has and he has intelligence, but we should know whether he has a Vairagya, Viveka and all those things. So he's going to test him a little bit. So he says, this is Shloka 21. Devairatrapi vichikitsitam pura Devairatrapi vichikitsitam pura Nahi suvigneyam Anuresha dharmaha Anyavaram Nachiketo Vrunishva Mamo Paratsihi Atima Srujainam together Devairatrapi vichikitsitam pura Nahi suvigneyam anuresha dharmaha Anyavaram Nachiketo Vrunishva Mamo Paritsihi Atima Srujainam. So here it starts, it says, Devaihi Atrapi, Devairatrapi, Vichikitsitam Pura, Pura Devaihi Atrapi. Even in the olden days and all that, Devaihi, even the gods have these doubts about the nature of the reality. Why they have, says, Nahi suvigneyam, says they don't have the clear understanding. Even if you teach them, they don't have the clear understanding what exactly is the reality behind this plurality, and therefore they have doubts about it. Vichikitsam, they have doubts. Even the gods have a problem. What he's saying, trying to say is, even gods, when they are taught also, they still have doubts about what is the nature of this reality. And suvijnayam, they cannot have a clear understanding of this. Anuresha dharma. Why? Because it is so subtle. Okay, now you understand what even the gods have a problem. Even when you teach them, they cannot understand, appreciate the beauty of this, because it is so subtle to understand it. So it is what implication is, it is difficult to know even if teacher teaches one way. So therefore, if you ask me to, I may say something, I may teach it, but it will not be useful to you. Therefore, why don't you anyavaram nachiketo runisho? Why don't you ask something else? Because it's going to be useless for you. So ma oparatsihi. So adima srujainam says, don't insist me on giving this boon to you, because if I do, because it's not going to be useful to you. So ma Atisrujanam eva. So please give up this boon and ask me something else, because you have third boon, and utilize something that is useful to you, because this is useless. Atma Vidya is useless, right? Any other Vidya, you can get some job or not. If you say in your qualifications of in your biodata, I know myself, I know myself, will not know, you won't get any job. It is useless knowledge. Any other knowledge, only useful knowledge is only Vyavaharika knowledge, only useful. This is Paramarthika knowledge. It's not useful in that sense. So when we had a camp, and we had some time camp, right? When was that? The Mandukya, I think. It says, how is this practical useful? Somebody was asking me a question. How is this practically useful for us? So how can we answer that? That means that it was, obviously didn't see the utility of it. So all problems are because of the so-called practical only. So you transcend the whole problems itself. But anyway, so essentially he's testing here, give up this, don't insist on me in asking this question, because it's very subtle. So here we need to say viveka is required, right? Viveka is Nitya, Anitya, Vastu Viveka. So we have Panchadarshi class, so also we were talking about it. But say, this is not a regular mixture that we can physically separate, this is Nityam and that is Anityam. So then that is easy to do. But here it's so subtle, it is in the Nityam, Anityam is superimposed. The problem is, Nityam you cannot see, Anityam alone you can see, and also the Anityam and Nityam are together so compact that you cannot really separate it, because one is substratum for the other one. You follow now? That way it makes it subtle. Otherwise you say, yes, Aham Brahma, I am conscious. Everybody, we say, I am consciousness, I am existent, we all know. But how many people, even in spite of the, not only Devas, our also we have problem, right? In spite of this teaching going on, so many books also we finish, but still I have a problem, because I take myself, I am the body, mind and intellect, which is inert. There's a confusion right there. In spite, why? I'm not able to separate this, what is Nityam and what is Anityam in my daily transactions, even knowing that I am indeed that conscious entity, eternal entity, unchanging entity, and when it changes comes into picture, that's nothing to do with me, but I am perceiver, or I am the witnessing consciousness of the changing things. I don't myself change in the changing things. All that is we understand. Good also, we can give lectures also, but when it comes to the problem Vyavaharika, in the daily transactions, we are not able to retain that. So not only Devairapi, even Chinmaya missions members api, all the Vedantic students have this problem. Therefore, what should I do? Therefore, Anyavaram Nachiketo Runishva. So therefore, it is very subtle. The knowledge itself is going to be very subtle, and that makes it difficult also. Therefore, in all things that I am seeing, there are two problems here. I cannot see the reality. because the existence I cannot see, consciousness I cannot see, and that which is infinite I cannot see. Therefore, I cannot see the reality. And what I am seeing is not real. But what I am seeing, I am taking it as real. And what I am not seeing, which is real, I don't even believe in it. Asti or nasti, we don't know. So this is a confused problem is occurring. Therefore, it is anureshu dharmaha. Its nature itself is extremely subtle. So, Nachiketa anyavaram uneshva. Therefore, Nachiketas, please take request for another boon and don't insist on this boon from me. Okay. Now, how is our friend Nachiketas is going to? So he is going to repeat exactly what he said before. What the Yamadharmaraja said. For that reason only I want it. You will read the sloka 22. Devairatrapi vichikitsitam kila. Devairatrapi vichikitsitam kila. Tvam cha mrutyoho. Yanna suvigneyamata. Vakta chasya tvadruk. Anyona labhyo nanyo varastulya etasya kaschit. Together. Devairatrapi vichikitsitam kila tvam cha mrutyo yanna suvigneyamata. Vakta chadruk unalabhyo nanyo varastulya etasya kaschit. You just said, see, essentially, says you have said tvam, say ata. You have mentioned just now that even the gods have a problem and they have no clear understanding of it. That means it must be really good. It must be sacred. Even the gods will not have. Therefore, I want that only. Because Devairapi atra vichikitsitam kila tvam cha mrityu yanna suvigneyam apta. So you yourself said that even it's so difficult to understand, and therefore even the gods have a problem. Therefore, that must be really, very sacred and it's really important to know. And therefore, I want only that. The second thing is, you know it now. From the very your statement, you didn't say, I don't know. What you said is, gods themselves have a problem. That means you know what the problems involved also. Therefore, you are the right teacher. Because you are aware of the problems in learning this problem. So when you know all the pros and cons and what are the loopholes, then you can teach better for the other people because you have gone through all this process. And you are aware of the problems that the students get into in the misunderstandings. Therefore, I cannot get any better teacher than you. So, Vakta asya tvadruk anyona labhya. It's very difficult for me to find another teacher who knows this one and knows also how difficult it is, and therefore who can teach you to at least to me in the language that I can understand. Therefore, you are the right teacher, and this is the right varam that I want. Okay. So, na anya varastulyaha, there is nothing really equivalent to this kind of varam. So, etasya kaschita, there is nothing ever at all. Therefore, I want only this. So, in this, what was the question? The Yamadharmaraja was trying to see what is the intensity of this knowledge, mumukshutvam. So, you want to know how deep he really wants this one. He is questioning it. And by providing alternative, is he going to go? Because when I say it's so difficult, okay, let me not waste this one, does he go for something else? Or he wants still this one. So his first paper he passed. Essentially, he is trying to find out that yes, he has the intense desire, mukshutvam, to know this one. So that is the first test paper is over. The next few questions is asking how much vairagyam he has. Okay, all other things. So the Yamadharmaraja is going to offer something more attractive than this. Satayushaha putra pautran runishva. Satayushaha putra pautran runishva. Bahun pashun hasti hiranyamashvan. Bahun pashun hasti hiranyamashvan. Bhumir mahadayatanam runishva. Matanam runishva swayam cha jiva sharado yavadicchasi. Together. Shatayusha putra pautran runishva. Bahun pasum hasti hiranyamashvan. Bhumir mahadayatanam runishva. Swayam cha jiva sharado yavadicchasi. So here this is Seta Aishu Putra Pautran Manishwa. Why don't you ask for the sons and the grandsons who can live Seta Aishu for hundreds of years? Not only hundreds of years. So ask for a boom, better boom than this what you are, because it's very difficult to understand it. So instead, I'm giving some suggestions, because if you can't think of it, I'm giving you suggestions. So ask for, a lot of people ask for the sons and then the grandchildren. Once you have sons and then you go, then you want grandchild, right? That's, you know, that's the next business. So Setaju Putra Pautran, he didn't say great grandson here, but at least Putra Pautran Runishwa. And then what are you going to do with so many people in the house? It's not a Kuchela type situation. So we have Bahun, Pasun, Hasti, Hiranyamashwan. So to support all that, you have a lot of wealth. It's called Pasun, the animals. Hasti, elephants. Hiranyam, to support that you need a lot of money also. Hiranyam, gold. Ashwan, the horses. All that also you can get it. And you need for them, you need a place for them to keep them also. So that also I'll give. Bhumir Mahat Ayatanam Runishva. So this Mahat Bhumi, so this vast land, Mahat means vast, Bhumi is land. You can get lot of land. You can be like a big king with all the, because you need so many horses and so many cows and so many, you need a land, grass, everything. Therefore, everything, the big land also you can get with me. So then if you have all that and if you are going to die quickly, then there's no good. So, Swayam cha jiva sarado yavadichasi. Even yourself, Swayam cha jiva. Sarad means many Sarat Kalas, you can also, as many Sarat Kalas as you want, you can have it. Sarat Kala means every, seasons. So every year one Sarat Kalam comes. So many years you can live also with all the big, group, Putra, Pautra and all that. The wealth he is giving the pashus and also land. Everything is being offered. So why don't you ask that? So as he was asking, he was watching obviously Nachiketas. There is no reaction from him, as though he's not even interested in all these deals. And so he has to say, maybe he has some other things. Because I'm offering something that I think is important, but he may have something else. So he's going to ask that question now. Etatulyam anyase varam. Etatulyam anyase varam. Runeshva vittam chirajivikancha. Mahabhumau nachiketastvamedhi. Kamanam tva kamabhajam karomi. Together. Etatulyam anyase varam. Vishwavittam chirajivikancha mahabhumau nachiketastvamedhi kamanatvam kamabhajam karomi. So in case you have something else, manyasi, etat tulyam, equivalent to this, if you have something else in your mind, ask for that. Varam, Uneshwa, that boon you ask. In case there is something else in your mind that I don't know, and equivalent to this, as big as this, so you ask for it. Vittam chiranjivikancha. And Vittam is lot of wealth, so you can have billions of dollars. Chiranjivi, long life, you can ask for me. Mahabhumo, the whole land, whole earth itself, you can be an emperor. Basically, that's what he says. Whole universe itself, world itself, this world only, not other worlds. This whole bhuma, because this whole bhumi, earth itself, I can offer to you. Nachiketa swamedhi. So, kama namtva kama bhajam karomi. In case you think that you won't be able to enjoy, I can make sure that I can make capacity to enjoy all these pleasures. So, if you have a lot of money, but you have the indigestion problem all the time, what can you do? All food is on the table, but you cannot eat. That's no good. So, you should be able to digest that food and eat and enjoy that food also. So, therefore, this I will make you enjoy all your desires. Kama means any desires you have, I will just blank check is given to you. Oh my God, no. You think he should be kind to us like this? I don't think there was any reaction from Nachiketas. He was, okay, I see. Is that all you're offering? So seeing the reaction on his face without any expression, then he's increasing the stakes now. I know. There used to be a show on TV, $1 million something. Or you use this screen or that screen behind or that screen behind, and if there is something else, I'll offer some more things so that you don't need this one. There used to be some show. We used to watch every day. Okay, anyway. There used to be a lot of other shows, because at that time when we were kids, there used to be the newlywed show. I don't know if there is a newlywed show now there or not. So when we were newly married at that time, so this newlywed show, my wife watches it daily and then asks those questions to me when I come back from office. What do you answer? And all my answers were terrible. Says, you won't be selected there. So anyway, that was fun. Now we don't have time to watch, or there may not be show like that. So now he is increasing the stakes. So he says, up to now what he offered is all in this earth. Now he is going to offer beyond the earth also. Desires that he can be fulfilled beyond that. So let's look at the 25. Where are we now, time-wise? Ye kama durlabha martya loke. Ye kama durlabha martya loke. Sarvan kaman kamaschandatah prarthayasva. Kaman kamaschandasa parthayasva. Ima ramaha saratha sasturya. Ima ramaha saratha saturya. Nahi drusha labhyaniya manushyaih. Drusha labhyaniya manushyaih. Abhirmat pratibhihi paricharayasva. Abhirmat pratabhihi paricharayasva. Nachiketo maranam manuprakshihi. Nachiketo maranam manuprakshihi. Together. Ye kama durlabha martya loke. sarvan kaman kamaschandatah prarthayasva ima rama saradha saturya nahi drusha labhyaniya manushyaih abirmat prattabihi paricharayasva Nachiketo maranam anusakshi. There are 6 lines in there. So a lot more things are being offered. Ye ye kaman durlabha marchaloki. Whatever those kama, this is the desires that are durlabha, that are difficult in the marchaloki, in the land of human beings. So all those sarvan kaman, all the desires that are which are not possible in this world, that you can kamas chandatha parthasva, you can ask that also. So those desires which cannot be fulfilled in this earth, in this bhumi, that means it can be possible only in the other lands like Swargam and all that, higher lands. Those desires also, if you have it, you ask them, I will give it to you. Nahi drusya labhyaniya manushyahi, for people, this which are not possible to enjoy, possible to have them, all those things you can ask. And abhihi, along with them, says, mat pratibhaha, given by me, paricharayasya, says, who is going to take care of all these people? If you say, he says, oh, we've missed one more. Ima Ramaha, oh, that's a very important thing, line we missed. Ima Ramaha Saratha Saturya. So Ima Ramaha means all the celestial maidens also you can have. Apsarasa and all that, they are not available in the in the jihad. If you do, you get 70 or 80 virgins when you go to heaven or something. But here, guaranteed, Ima Rama, all these celestial maidens. And you need also, once you have them, you have to move around different parties and all that. So you are getting vehicles also. Saratha, Radha is all the jet lag, the super jets and also are available. And even that you can ask, Saratha. And essentially, Saratha, Saturyaha. And what are you going to do? You need some musical instruments. So you have violins and everything, entertainment continuously. That which is not available, or only in the Gandharva Loka you have all those beautiful music, that also you can have, because these are not available in the Marcha Loka. So all that you can ask. And it's given by me along with them. And who is going to take care of you, all these things? So we will get also servants also, free servants, paricharas, yes, maidens to attend on you. Prarthayasva, ask for them. Nachiketa maranam ma anupratshi. Don't ask me about what is after the death. Okay? So that which is beyond the death. So instead of that, I am giving you all this, whatever you can enjoy in this earth, also enjoyments in the beyond the earth, the heavenly things. Because a lot of people do homam, yajnam, all that in this to go to heaven to enjoy this only. They are not going to do anything else. They only want to enjoy, because they don't enjoy here, they want to enjoy somewhere else. So this is all they spend life, and that means it's very precious. Your father also wants to go to that yajna, doing that yajna only. But I'm giving you free now. Free all this. So why don't you ask that? And don't ask, insist on this third varam that you ask about what is that which is beyond the death. Now Nachiketa is responding now. I think the end of he saw there is no more offerings anymore. He talk now. So here is Nachiketa's response. 26. Svobhava martyasya yadanta kaitat Bhava martyasya yadantakaitatu sarvendriyanam jarayanti tejaha sarvendriyanam jarayanti tejaha api sarvam jivitamalpameva sarvam jivitamalpameva tavaiva vahastava nritya gite. Together, svobhava martyasya yadantakaitatu sarvendriyanam jarayanti tejaha api sarvam jivitamalpameva tavaiva vahastava nritya gite. So I forgot to tell one in the Swami Chinmayananda's, he wanted to learn the scriptural knowledge, and he was with Shivananda Maharaj, and he wanted to learn more and more. Shivananda Maharaj is, he was a teacher, but he was also involved in Karma Yoga because he was a doctor actually before. So he was also interested in serving the people and also many other things. But Swamiji wanted to have an intense study of the scriptures. So knowing this, he said, why don't you go to Swami Tapovan to learn this? So it is suggested by Swami Sivananda. Swami Sivananda is the one who gave him Diksha. And he suggested Swamiji, the Gurudev, to go to Swami Tapovan and to learn. And the understanding is obviously he was sending people to learn, and Swamiji was accepting maybe. So he has to go, says that was good. So he went to Swami Tapovan, maybe around 20-30 miles he has to walk through. And after walking there, Swamiji Tapovanji, he met him and put namaskaram and said, who are you? Why are you coming here? He says, Swami Sivanandaji told me to come here. I want to learn Vedanta, and he suggested that I should learn from you. So he has sent me. So he gave him. He says, where is the letter? I said, what letter? Where is the letter that Swami Sivananda has asked you to come and learn from me? Where is the letter of his statement? He doesn't have a letter. Now go and get the letter. Okay, I'm not going to teach you unless that is. So he walked back all the way 30 miles, got the letter, and went back again 30 miles and says, I have the letter. Okay, it's all right, now sit down. He didn't even look at the letter. So he was testing how serious the student is. I follow not Tapovan doesn't want that, he wants a letter from him. But before he teaches, he wants to make sure that he has really the desire to learn from. So that was a test for Swami Chinmayananda. But nowadays we don't test all this. Everybody says we advertise in the papers or internet mail. Some people come and some people drop out and all that. Anyway, so here Nachiketa is responding now. Now there are two things one we should know, because Nachiketa is only boy, right? So if I ask my granddaughter, so she's only 4 years old, not 9 years old. Hey, do you want balloons or do you want a $1 million check here? What will she say? She doesn't know what the value of that check. She'll go after balloons. She doesn't know that you can buy a lot more balloons with that money, because she doesn't understand the value of the value, right? So is this like the boy doesn't understand and asking, or does he really understand and says this is what he really wants? So this is the question that has to be understood, because he's a boy still. So for a boy of that age, which doesn't have the discrimination, only parikshalokan, karmachitan, brahmano, nirvedamayan, nascha krutena, only after examining so many things, because if you tell these things to anybody, oh, I'm not interested in Vedanta, really, once it's old, we can have Vedanta, not now, not now. We postpone because we don't see the value of that value, right? And does he know the value of this value? Is also a question. Now Nachiketa is coming out exactly, says, I have understood this. I understood the value of what all you are offering, and they have no value. That's what he's going to tell us. So, Sobhava. Why? Because all that you have given me are just temporary, ephemeral. They keep changing. They don't last. Because whatever has a beginning has an end. Therefore, all that you have offered, even though it may be long, long doesn't mean it's eternal. So it's a long life is not eternal life. Long life is only time-wise within the time specification. Eternal is a concept beyond time. So in some philosophies, they say after death you go to have heaven, eternal life. So in the Mandukya Karika, we examine this. If you go somewhere as or gaining something, or the heaven is starting to you, where the moksha is as a beginning, it will have an end. Anything that has a beginning must have an end. So here, whatever you say, long, 100 years, so many years, or whatever I can desire, whatever you can give me is only finite things. So all that you have offered has no meaning, is only temporarily. Mathyasya yadantakaitatu. So for a mortal man, all that is antaka. Antaka is Lord of Death. Is etat, whatever you have offered is only temporary, has no permanent value. That means I understood the value of the value that you have given. Of all the things that you offered is only temporarily. Ultimately I have to come back again, what is the eternality has to be understood. Sarvendriyanam jarayanti tejaha. And all these indriyas, even though I may have a longer life, still things getting old. Things get old and my knee starts paining and this starts paining and the indigestion starts and I can't enjoy all those things that I was enjoying before. So Sarvendriyanam, all the instruments of enjoyment, indriyas, both karmendriyas and gyanendriyas, and that's why my wife says I can't hear properly or listen properly. So its indriyas are failing. Sarvendriyanam jarayanti tejaha. Their brilliancy goes down as a function of time. They may serve longer for your grace, but api sarvam jivitam alpameva. So therefore, life for both the enjoyer and the enjoying things, life for both itself is small. Sometime you may give a longer little bit, that's all. By your grace, it's going to be longer, but still limited. Therefore, api sarvam, whatever yadantaka etat, all that you have offered is everything is api sarvam jivitam alpameva. So all the life of both the objects and the subject that is enjoying, both the enjoyer and the enjoyed, the life of them itself is going to be short only. So therefore, Tavaiva vahaha tava nuchagite. All that you keep it yourself. Let them be with you. I don't need it. So he essentially rejected all that is being offered. And is rejecting with understanding. Not my granddaughter rejecting the $1 million check for, not that I have $1 million, even $100 bill, she may reject it, say it's a useless paper according to for her, but balloons are much more enjoyment. But for her, it's ignorance of the value of that is not. But here, he understood the values, even though he's 9-year-old, all the Apsarasas, he may be too big for him, but he understood the value of those values. You keep all that. Navittena tarpaniyo manushyo. Navittena tarpaniyo manushyo. Lapsya mahe vittamadrashmya chetma. Lapsya mahe vittamadrashmya chetva. Jivishyamo yavadisishyasi tvam. Jivishyamo yavadisishyasi tvam. Varastame varaniyaha sa eva. Together. Navittena tarpaniyo manushyo lapsya mahi vittamadrachvya chetva Jivishyamo
yavadishyasi tvam
varastami varaniya
sayeva.
So navittena tarpaniyaha manushyaha. So navittena by the vittam, that is by the wealth. Tarpani manushyaha tarpaniyaha. Na tarpaniyaha. So the human beings are never be satisfied with the wealth. However much wealth you have, they will never be satisfied. If you don't have $100, you want to have $1,000, and you are happy. But if you have $1,000, you want to have $1 million. Are you happy with $1 million? No. You want to have billions of dollars. Will you have $1 billion? They're still longing for. Greediness is always grows, in fact, more and more. You will never be happy with whatever amount of money you have. This is the nature of a human being. This is what Nachiketa is telling us. Okay? Navittena tarpane manushyaha. The human beings never be satisfied with however much wealth they have. So, who is a really rich person? Who is a really rich person? Not the one who has billions of dollars. The one who can spare some money to give to others. Right? He has more than what he needs, right? Then only he can spare. The other fellow will keeping you only. So the richest person is the one who can give. That's why giving more than what we take is the Chinmaya Mission pledge. We only repeat like a parrot. Remember the parrot story? Parrot story, right? Parrots repeat only whatever they learn without understanding it or applying it. So we, of course, we are not parrots, right? So we have to follow what we learn actually. So navitte means earn. That doesn't mean that you should earn. You have to be very careful here. You should not be longing for it. Whatever comes by dharmic way, dharma, artha. Dharmic way, righteous way, whatever comes you earn. And what you earn, keep what you need and give it back to the society in some form. So that also has to be understood. In fact, you can only get what you give. In the Falltian analysis, whatever you have given in the past, what you are getting now. Not that nothing is free in this world. Nothing is free. Whatever you are getting now is a result of previous giving. So if you want to continue this, you have to keep giving only. The cycle will go on. But you can give without having a desire to get back something. That becomes chitta suddhi, purification of the mind. You can still give, but not expecting, because I give it because this is, I have to give as a part of my growing up. So navitte na tarpani. So if you have a lot of money, please don't hesitate to give me here, okay? That's for the. So navitte na tarpaniyo manushyo. So lapsya mahe vittam. So, and then he says, the intelligence of our Nachiketas is coming here. So, lapsya mahe vittam adrashya chetva. After seeing you, I'm going back. You already gave me a return ticket, right? And you are a Deva Purusha. You are not a normal being. You're not Deva are the ones who give. So, so after seeing you when I return, I know you are not going to send me with empty hands. So what is there for me to ask anything? You give me anyway, whatever I need. So he is essentially guaranteeing himself. Lapsya mahe vittam. So we will have enough wealth after seeing you. Chetvam. And about you are talking about vittam, and then you are giving long life. As long as you are controlling here, why should I worry about it? About the death. Because you are the Lord of death and I am your disciple. So I have no problem. Why should I ask unnecessarily varam for it? I get naturally. So he is guaranteeing those things that he is offering anyway. Jivishyamo yavadi sishyasistvam. So therefore, as long as ishyasi, tvam ishyasi, as long as you are the ruler of this controller of the death, who dies and so on, as long as you are the ruler, Jivishyamaha yavat. I can live as long as I want. As long as you are the ruler, I can live as long as I want. So I don't need to ask for it. So he is already getting the varam because he uses intelligence to know that, so when you say that, obviously the Yama has to oblige him. So, varastami varaniyaha sa eva. Therefore, the boon I have asked to me, varaniyam, that is the best boon that I have asked you. So, I am guaranteed anyway long life and a lot of wealth because I am going from you and you are not going to send me completely free. So you see the intelligence of the boy also. Okay. Ajiryatam amrutanam upechya. Ajiryatam amrutanam upechya. Jiryan martyaha kvadhastah prajanan.
Jiryan martyaha kvadhastah prajanan.
Abhijyayan varnarati pramodan.
Abhijyayan varnarati pramodan.
Atidhirge jivite ko rameta.
Atidhirge jivite ko rameta.
Together. Ajiryatam amrutanam upecha. Jiryan matcha.
Kvadhastah prajanan.
Abhijyayan varnarati pramodan. Atidhirge jivite ko rameta. This is Jiryan. Sloka number 28, right? I must have written something. Yeah, Jiryan Marchu. Jiryan Marchu Kvadha, at least in this. So, Ajiryatam, where there is no Jiryatam, that is, there is no decaying. So he is asking, he says, when I can get this which is never decays, that means which doesn't undergo any modifications, Amrutanam, that which is eternal, which is everlasting, so there is no death, Upecha, having approached that immortality, Jiryan Martyaha Kvadhaha Staha Prajanan, says this mortal being, which is essentially the world down, is looking for me, he is the heavens right now. So, Kvadaha Staha Prajanan. So, this looking down, this world which is involving all this disease and death and all that. Abhijyayan Varna Rati Pramodan. Having examined all these problems, I am not telling just like this. I have examined all these things. In my life itself, with 9 years old, I know everything about this. So, Abhijyayan, having understood this problem, Varna Rati Pramodan, all are Jiryan. So, this Varna is all the objects of enjoyment, Rati, all the enjoyments too, the pleasures and the objects of pleasure, Pramodan, that which gives you the pleasure, Modam, and all are Jiryan, Martyaha, Kvadahasa. All these things are going to be decaying slowly, and leaving that which is beyond decay and which is beyond the time, that Amrutam, Upecha. And why do anybody wants this at all? So, I have understood the value of all these things that you are offering. They have no value at all compared to what I am asking. Atidhirge jivite korameta. So, even the long life that you are going to offer is also of no use to me. Who wants to enjoy the same thing which is, everything is going to decay for a longer time? That's all you are asking. There is a, what is that, Yayati, I think, story, right, in the Mahabharata. And Yayati wants to enjoy more and more, and he asks his son, say, They could trade, I guess. Says, anyone who can trade your life to my life so that I can be again young, so that I can enjoy some more. Like that he trades. Everybody, all the sons, except the last one, I guess. All the sons, they say, no, why should we give our life? We want to enjoy too. Because he wants to exchange the old age with the young age. But the youngest fellow, he says, you want to enjoy? Okay, enjoy. So he was Nachiketa, I guess. But he ready to offer his own life, exchange life. And Yati enjoys and then also recognizes that it's all no use. He lived for so many years and then found out what Nachiketa is telling. But without enjoying, Nachiketa has understood the value of all those values. Therefore, he says, there is no reason for me to ask for this. Leaving ajiryatam amrutanam upechya, leaving all that which is having eternal life and eternal this one. So he's wrapping up, is essentially Yasmin idam vichikitsanti mrutyo Yasmin idam vichikitsanti mrutyo Yatsam paraye mahati bruhi nastad
Yatsam paraye mahati bruhi nastad
Yeyam varo ghoodam anupravishto
Yoyam varo gudam anupravishto
Nanyam tasman Nachiketa vrunite.
Nanyam tasman Nachiketa vrunite
Together.
Yasminidam vichikitsanti mrityo
Yasam paraye
mahati bruhi nastad
Yoyam varo ghoodam anupravishto Jnanam tasman Nachiketa vrunite. So, yasmin idam mrutyo vichikitsahanti. So, he is now crystallizing back to the question. Says, there is a doubt about this. This in which men have doubts. Vichikitsa means there are doubts about the what happens, O Lord of Death, about this. About this means about the nature of the reality which is beyond any changing things. Is there really something there? And yat samparaye, that is which is beyond all, mahati, and which is great, as you yourself mentioned, it's a subtle and great. Bruhi nastad. Please, please for us, please tell me that. So he is using here plural here. Please tell us what is that, because what I am going to do is communicate this to other people also, like all our students. Therefore, not only you are telling me to other people, pass on this knowledge as Guru Parampara is there. When you teach me, I am not going to stop, it's going to be too. So please, for us, you are telling me. So he's backing all his future students also as a general. So therefore, Bruhi Mahatat, please tell me that. Yaha ayam varaha gudham anupravishtam. Yaha ayam varaha. That for us, this is the boon that I want, which is gudham, which is very deep, very, as you said, very subtle, and therefore it cannot be seen easily. Therefore, it is deep and secret, mysterious nature of this. Pravishta, which is also sacred also. And that which is sacred and which is deep, Godham and Pravishtam. Na anyam tasmat Nachiketa vrunite. Therefore, I do not want any other boon other than this. End of the story. So here we are displaying that what you are offering is I understood. They are all ephemeral, and what I want is permanent, eternal thing that I need to know. And you are only the teacher because you are conscious of that and you are aware of that. And I will not be able to get this kind of teacher again in my life. And I am not going to waste my varam on something else. And therefore, this is the varam only I want. So with that, we are the end of the first valli. Now, in the second valley, the Yamadharmaraja has tested him sufficiently, and he see the beauty of the boy and his vairagyam and all that. And he gives a general discourse now first in terms of says why so many people get opportunities but they don't select properly. And you have selected the right things. Obviously, he is appreciative of the student's intelligence in the selection process, and also is appreciative of the discriminative intellect he has, and he is going to praise the student to the heights because you are the right student. Whereas the student said, you are the right teacher. Now it is teacher's responsibility to say that you are the right student, and therefore I have to tell you. So the varam he is going to grant, but before the varam he is glorifying this knowledge and why people don't select properly also he is going to tell. So what is preyas and shreyas are going to be discussed in this world. There are two paths. This is for every human being, this is available. What called preyas and shreyas. Shreyas is that which is good eternally, for long lasting, which is good. Preyas is temporarily good, but more attractive. So there is a story of a guy who passed away, and he has done a lot of merits. And from the heavens, the messengers came to take him. So when the messenger says, yes, we will take you to heaven. Says, what route you are taking? Oh, we'll pass in between. There's a hell also there, but we'll pass that. Beyond that, heaven is beyond. Oh, you see, I can see all those things. Yeah. So he was going, and suddenly, as they were going through the hell, there's all neon lights and beautiful dazzling sounds and music and dance and beautiful things and decorations. Everything was going on. Hey, what is this? Oh, this is hell. My God, this hell is so good. He went around, he says, all beautiful entertainment, very attractive, a lot of things are there. If hell is like that, heaven should be much greater. So let's go to heaven quickly because I want to see how beautiful that is. So he went to heavens. There was nothing there. Everybody is calm, quietly sitting in one place because Atman Yeva Atmana Tushta. They are reveling in themselves because they don't need anything else outside to revel. And that is the Swargam, that is the heavens realization soul. So they are all quietly enjoying and themselves in the reveling in themselves. Says, what a boring place is this? I want to go to hell. That seems to be more attractive than this. He says, are you sure? See, you are entitled to be in heaven, and are you sure you want to go back? Yeah, that seems to be better than this place. And so he wants to go back to the hell. And when he went, says again, what he saw is all suffering and people crying and all these things that he described. He says, what happened? I saw all this, when I came, I was going through all that. There was a lot of things beautiful and all. Oh, that is our advertisement system. Actually, this is the advertisement is hellish advertisement is very good. So things looks attractive, whatever that is preyas. Shreyas doesn't look attractive, but in the long run, that's the one that gives you happiness, more eternal. Yes, Shreyas chan nischitam bruhitanve. Where it goes, right? Sishastveham sadhimam tvam prapannam. Arjuna says, please teach me what is Shreyas, not praise. So that which is eternally good, that please tell me. So here, Yamadharmaraja is going to give us, there are two things that a human has a choice, a path of Shreyas and path of prayas. Shreyas doesn't look appealing, it requires a sadhana, it requires a discriminative intellect for you to proceed further. But in the long run, that is the one that requires, because you have to do sadhana, right? You have to make your mind control from going all over the place, so that mumukshatvam, vairagyam is required. So only for those who have vairagyam, you will get the benefit of that. So there should not be any attachment, right? Tage naike amrutatva manasuhu. By renunciation only, you gain everything. It's a very strange phenomenon. So by giving up, you get everything. And that involves a shreyas path. Prayas is you enjoy, but what happens is anything that you enjoy, number one, it's temporary. Number two, it becomes a binding. Why it's binding? Because it's temporary, it gives you a little bit of taste, and then you want to repeat it. So you go after that. So the whole life is struggle for, I want this enjoyment, I want that enjoyment, I want that enjoyment. You're going from one enjoyment, one experience to other experience, and that is called praise. So he's going to give exhaustive analysis of shreyas and praise, and some of the slokas are very important slokas also. People, are quoted very well, and that will start with the Valli 2. That we'll take up from the next class. We'll do Purnamada now. Om Purnamada Purnamidam Purnat Purnamudachyate Purnasya Purnamadaya Purnameva Vasishyate. Om Shanti Shanti Shanti. Harihi Om Sri Gurubhyo Namaha. Harihi Om. Let's do Chinmaya Mission Pledge. We stand as one family, bound to each other with love and respect. We serve as an army, courageous and disciplined, ever ready to fight against all low tendencies and false values within and without us. We live honestly the noble life of sacrifice and service, producing more than what we consume and giving more than what we take. We seek the Lord's grace to keep us on the path of virtue, courage and wisdom. May Thy grace and blessings flow through us to the world around us. We believe that the service of our country is the service of the Lord of Lords, and devotion to the people is the devotion to the Supreme Self. We know our responsibilities and have the ability and courage to fulfill them. Om Tat Sat.